Before the video starts, this is a sensitive subject for many, so if you don't feel comfortable with this subject, you can click away. And also, I want to make something clear. The goal of this video is not to put certain group of people down or take their hope away. My goal with this video is to bring awareness and understanding to the subject at hand. So in today's video, I will be discussing how being unattractive or ugly impacts a person's life from childhood to his teenage years and even his adulthood. Because the way a person looks holds way more weight than people know. It affects the way he is perceived and treated by others. It affects his chances with dating or lack thereof. It even affects his social life in school and work. Like usual, this video will be split into two parts. There will be a timestamp on screen and in the description down below. Part 1. What makes a person unattractive and realistic improvement advice. Part 2. What life is like for unattractive people. And I want to thank all of you for the support lately on YouTube. If you want to get your face rated by me with personalized look max and advice, link will be in the description. Without further ado, let's get this video started. So what makes a face unattractive? From all the faces I rated so far and the data I analyzed, most people who score below average or in Blackpill terms below a 5 out of 10 are either obese to the point that their key features, which are jaw, mid-face, eyes and neck, get affected, or they have some sort of malformalities, deformities, or severe underdevelopment in major facial features, such as the jaw, maxilla, and eyes. Sometimes even malformalities in the lips or nose can make someone below average in looks, but that depends sometimes. If you are one of the guys who are below average because of high body fat percentage and you don't have any deformities, then you are considered lucky, because you won't have to go through plastic surgery. All you have to do is to drop to a healthy body fat percentage, which is considered by many to be around 15%. If you want even more definition in the face, in general, you should drop in between 10 to 12% body fat, which is hard, not gonna lie. It's hard to maintain that body fat percentage if you're not used to it. But you know, the best things are always hard to achieve, and that's where all the fun at. Then after that, you're gonna have to figure out how to dress your body type. What haircut and beard will suit you. Get jacked and develop your social skills, treat your skin and teeth, and push yourself to the maximum rating your genetics allow you to. In case of facial malformation and deformities, then that would require plastic surgery and other things depending on where the issue is. There are many plastic surgeries out there. I won't be discussing this here today. I will do a video on plastic surgeries if you guys want it in the future. Let me know down in the comments. I recommend specific plastic surgeries to my clients who score below a 5 out of 10 because of malformations. Then the same rule apply after the issue is fixed. You try to look max to reach the maximum of your genetic potential after surgery. That depends from person to person. I also hate the stigma that surrounds men, shaming them if they get plastic surgery. Most people don't know that it can give them a better quality of life. They will also hit you with that "just be confident bro," not knowing that confidence comes from the effort and the investment that someone puts into himself. And that includes plastic surgery as well. You will not wake up the next morning and be confident without doing anything. That's called delusion. So, people who are considered unattractive or below average looking start suffering from the consequences of their looks at such a young age, through bullying. They either get bullied for a deformity or malformation in the face or being overweight, which is not the kid's fault. Letting the kid become overweight is the parents' fault. I have here an article from The Guardian that talks about how two kids suffered from bullying because of malformation in their faces. Marcus was born with a cleft lip and palate, so he has a gap in his lip and the roof of his mouth. The 15 operations he has needed have not helped the way he looks, but that had not concerned him. Everything changed though, when Marcus moved up a year and the children became more conscious of his disfigurement. It was tough suddenly, they saw me differently, says Marcus, who is now 11. They called me Scarface or Mushy Monster and said I was ugly. They didn't want to play with me before I had a lot of friends. Sam watched as her son became withdrawn and upset when it was time to go to school. I realized he no longer mentioned friends. At first he wouldn't tell me what was happening, and when he did I suggested talking to the teachers. He said he had done and they didn't do anything. It was a similar story for Yasmin at secondary school. She had severe scarring after an illness and was teased and bullied because of it. Yasmin veered between retreating into impenetrable silence and erupting into rages. She got no help from her school and eventually dropped out completely. As you guys read with me on the article, the 11-year-old Marcus became withdrawn from everyone as the other kids refused to play with him, calling him a monster. Even though he mentioned the issue to the teachers, they did nothing about it. And the same thing happened to the poor girl named Yasmin. She even ended up dropping out of school. Now you might think that only the children are awful to each other. Absolutely not, because the adults are no different. They didn't stand up for the kids, and not only that, the teachers themselves would sometimes treat the kids terribly and be biased toward them, because they are unattractive. Because we humans, for some reason, associate good looks with intelligence and pureness, but we associate bad looks with stupidity, aggressiveness, and disgust. So the difference in treatment and bullying will lead the kid to develop depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, self-harming behavior, and more. And then some blue-pilled guy will come to you and tell you it's all about personality and game, bro. Looks don't matter. If looks don't matter, why did the kids and teenagers have to suffer because of their looks, even though I'm sure many of them had great personalities? But those personalities can't shine through because they got hammered down with abuse and bad treatment. As the kids move on to the stage of their lives between the ages of 13 and 18, through middle school and high school, they enter a period where they start developing attraction toward the other gender. And oh boy, things get interesting. I have a clip here from a video called Being Ugly My Experience, which went viral back in 2018. As you guessed from the title, the guy explains what it is like to live life from the shoes of a guy who is below average in attractiveness. I'm gonna show you guys the clip that talks about his dating life in middle school or high school to get my point across.
I had a very big trouble having friends as younger. Everyone always avoided me, found ways to get rid of me, and I sorta didn't care back then. And and I ended up in school. I remember first time I started, I was never like caring about girls. Girls were like meh, because I remember being young, they chased around the other guys at the schoolyard, and they were like pretending like the girls were trying to kiss the boys, and the guys were like ew. And I remember how they all chased each other, and no one chased me, so I was just standing there being like, what the fuck. I think the total sum from when I was 15 to 17 was well over 400 or 500 girls that I wrote with, that I tried to get into a relationship with. And that's not normal girls. I've never gone for the normal attractive girls. I knew from the start like they are not for me. They set these standards that are so high. They want attractive guys that are smart and funny and everything. So I set up like I tried to write with those with girls, and I wrote with girls that were overweight, that didn't look so good. Some of them had a big nose like me, some had big lips, some had shorter hair. I even wrote with about, I think it was like three girls that were handicapped. Note this time I was between 15 to 17 years, so I was quite young, and every single one called me ugly. Every single one. And they
Damn, that shocks me every time I hear it. Even the girls who are handicapped still chase the top guys. If you guys think being average and invisible is bad, at least you are not being told that you are unlovable and getting crapped down for simply existing. So getting any sort of love and intimacy which any human craves and desires becomes ridiculously hard if not impossible. So they completely give up on getting a partner, they either make peace with living alone or loneliness crushes them. Some people sadly do end up checking their lives. They consider death a better escape than living life like this. The guy in the video upload content now that motivate others and lift their spirits up, which I'm actually happy to see. Glad he turned something negative into something positive that motivates others. Now let's move on to the professional work life. Daniel Hammermesh, a US economist, wrote a book called Beauty Pays: Why Attractive People Are More Successful. Well, the book is very long, I won't be sitting here reading you guys everything, but I will give you the gist of it. Beauty Pays demonstrates how society favors the beautiful and how better looking people experience startling but undeniable benefits in all aspects of life. Hammermesh showed that the attractive are more likely to be employed, work more productively and profitably, receive more substantial pay, obtain loan approvals, negotiate loans with better terms, and have more handsome and highly educated spouses. Hammermesh explains why this happens and what it means for the beautiful and the not so beautiful among us. Exploring whether a universal standard of beauty exists, Hammermesh illustrates how attractive workers make more money, how these amounts differ by gender, and how looks are valued differently based on profession. He considers whether extra pay for good-looking people represents discrimination, and if so, who is discriminating? It's a really good book, I recommend you guys read it. So to put it in simple terms, unattractive or ugly people get treated like they are subhuman in all aspects of life. I did this video to show the truth of the matter on the subject, Because I bet you if you ask most people on the street, they will tell you that looks don't matter. It's all about personality. Personality is everything. In my opinion, looks as important as personality, if not more important. And I want to make something else clear. There are many successful people out there that are considered unattractive. I'm not saying you can succeed if you are unattractive. I shined light on what the majority goes through. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And like usual, catch you guys in the next one.